beautiful colors, then you know it's the Shirlma Show. Today, we are honored to be in the presence of Shirlma. She provides psychosocial support to primary and secondary schools and organizations. She's also a radio host and she's also an artist. Welcome to the Shirlma Show.
Thank you very much, Shirley, and thanks for the invite.
It's really a pleasure having you here today.
Here.
Okay, so please tell us a little bit about this psychosocial support that you offer to primary, secondary, and higher institutions.
When we talk about psychosocial support, we are talking about helping people. Simply put, it's helping people who are kind of stressful, who are kind of going through trauma, who are kind of depressed, maybe because of one reason or the other, like in a place of war, in a place of violence, repeated violent behavior. We actually have people who go through stress, who go through trauma. So when we offer psychosocial support, it is to help these people, these victims, to be hopeful again. It is to help these victims to believe in themselves once more, to believe in their visions, to believe in their goals, to waive those odds. And when we talk about psychosocial support, it's quite broad.
Okay.
So there are different activities that makes up this psychosocial support. Like the one I love to use most is a psychosocial support called Why Writing Your Name Matters.
Wow.
Why writing your name matters. Why is it important for each and every one of us to write our names? You know, Shirley, when somebody spells your name wrongly, you get really angry. When somebody sabotage your name, you get really upset. Now, this particular psychosocial support comes up when there is a lot of deviant behavior, like in the school system, in the community. You want to be able to mitigate this deviant behavior. You go ahead and you use Why Writing Your Name Matters.
Wow.
This activity is quite interesting because in the beginning of this activity, you actually give the participants, whoever is you are working with, whoever you are targeting, you give them a sheet of paper like what you are holding. And then you ask them to write their name using the left hand. Wow. They will struggle and then they write their name on that sheet of paper. Then you tell them to bend or fold in 3 equal parts. Wow. When they do now, you ask them to put in front of them so that anybody entering the room is able to identify and is able to read that name. Now, what are you telling them? In effect, you are telling them that your name is one of the greatest assets that you need to protect. A good name is better than riches and gold. You are telling them to guard their names jealously. You are telling them to protect their name and shun all sorts of deviant or violent practices, because that name may likely be a liability to their generations tomorrow. Shirley, you can bear with me that some names actually close doors when you mention. Some names open doors. Right. So you will tell them that because of this deviant behavior, because of this radicalism, because of this violent behavior, it's not just going to affect you alone. It will go a long way to affect your generation, your unborn generation. Because tomorrow, you may present yourself as the daughter of Mr. A, the daughter of Mr. B, and doors are closed. Contracts are withdrawn, you know, just because of your attitude. Now you get to tell them that when you do all of these things, the deviant practices, you are soiling your name. Now, if Nelson Mandela was a bad person, we will not be calling his name even after his demise. We will not be mentioning the name of Mother Teresa of Calcutta She was a wonderful woman. She is a woman who actually left her comfort zone to step to the place where poor people live, to understand what it means to be poor. That is why even after their demise, we keep calling their names. They wrote their names positively in the annals of history. And then when you hear about a name like Idi Amin, what comes to your mind? Yeah. Wickedness. So we tell these students, if you want people to run at the mention of your name, keep on in your deviant practices. And nobody will want their names.
You do not only aim at maybe institutions of higher learning, but now you've gone down to kids. So I was actually wondering, why is it important for us to start with kids even? Right? Why is it important to bring maybe psychosocial assistance, make kids to have access to this?
You know, there is an African proverb that says it is very difficult to bend an old tree. When we take something like psychosocial support or counseling generally to the secondary or to the primary school, we'll be solving long-term societal problems. Because at that level, these children actually ask a lot of questions, and most of these questions need professional answers. Most of these questions are even scientific questions and need scientific responses. Counseling is not a common sense kind of thing. Counseling is not something that is based on intuition. It is something that you have to test and prove. That is why we work with a lot of psychometric tests. We work with a lot of tests. If you come to me with a problem, Shirley, I will first of all test you. Just like you go to the hospital to see a medical doctor. The medical doctor normally will not just give you drugs. He does not just begin to administer drugs. He wants to diagnose what is it that is happening with you. It's the same with counseling. It's the same with social work. Now, when we take this counseling to the primary schools, we are actually helping these children to understand a whole lot of things. There was a time I was invited to one government primary school to come talk to the children, because it's like all of them wanted to go to the grammar school. And after the orientation, after the sensitization and the education, a lot of them indicated interest in the technical school, in vocational centers, and all of that. So when we don't take this, when we don't give counseling at this level, it's really painful, and it is something that needs to be institutionalized. We need to begin counseling from the base to avoid this confusion. Imagine a child leaving primary 6. That child is not even sure where and why he is going to, maybe be going to, why he will be going to a grammar school, a commercial school, a technical school, and all of that. Most often parents tend to tell them, you are going to go to the grammar school. Why? But when we begin giving them this education, they themselves will tell us at that age in primary 6, that mom, daddy, I think I would like to go to the technical college because of these opportunities that have been given us. If I graduate from a technical college, if I graduate from a grammar college, these are the opportunities and these are the things that I stand to gain. So when we leave it and we take it at the level of secondary school, to me, it is already late. I'm saying so because there is usually a lot of confusion when it comes to the kind of schools, the kind of the career these children will choose, be it grammar, be it the sciences, the arts, the commercial, the technical, and all of that. But when we begin it from even nursery school, yes, you identify, you know, unfortunately, Shirley, our educational system has been structured in a way that does not encourage creativity. Most people, like the show you are hosting, I don't think we are taught these things in school, but it is out of passion. Now you decide to say, no, I will reach out maybe with my journalism knowledge to the community. I will come up with a show like this to educate, to mold and to shape the society. So what am I saying? I'm saying that if we take counseling to the primary school, we begin to offer, because psychosocial support is for everybody. I'm from the Restive Northwest region, and you know what is happening there all this while. Everybody, almost everybody in that region is depressed. It is not easy down there. Everybody needs it. Just 2 days ago, I went to buy something in a nearby store closer to my house. And there is this woman in a provision store. And she was like, what is this? This child has refused to come to me again. Because the other day, she saw guns. And like, honestly, that child hates that area. A child like that will need psychosocial support. It's for everybody. Because you give people hope by giving psychosocial support.
Thank you. So after the break, more with Shirlma Quinta. If you're just joining us today on the Shirlma Show, we've been honored to be in the presence of Shirlma Quinta, an artist, radio host, and she's also a specialist when it comes to industrial and organizational psychology. So Quinta, you offer industrial and organizational psychological support to organizations around, right? So tell me, what are some of the common practices that maybe we carry on in organizations that warrant this support?
Yes, Shirley, you can bear with me that there is, in so many organizations, they suffer from this phenomenon of lack of performance and then poor work behavior. A lot of companies, parastatals, confessional institutions go through this. And the psychologist's interest here is to find out why. Why is there poor performance? Why is it that there is a lot of behavioral changes as far as workers in this organization is concerned? We are never really judgmental because we want to be able to go beyond, beneath the water surface to find out why is this happening? Why is this happening to maybe 80% of workers in this organization? Why are they not performant? Why are they not at their peak? So that is where we go beyond. We want to go beyond the subconscious. We go beyond what the ordinary eyes cannot see. Because most often we base our judgments on the conscious, on the behavioral, what we see. Yes, she usually sleeps at work. Yes, she comes late at work. That is what we see. And most often we base our arguments and our judgments on that. Psychologists don't look at it that way. We want to go to the why factor. Why is it happening? And that is where testing is very, very important in all organizations. For example, like I told you about going back to the foundations. When you realize that an organization is not performing at its